Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome, everyone. We're now tuned into another amazing edition of Sanya On-Air. And how do I start each and every single show? You guessed it. I have another great show for you. I also have another great celebrity guest. Joining us in just a few short moments, I have the cast member of OWN's hit dating series, Put a Ring on It, Ashley Forrester. I wonder what happened when reality meets reality TV. Did her boyfriend at the time put a ring on it? What made her even go on reality TV with her relationship for the entire world to see and judge? We're going to unpack all of those milestones and pivotal moments in just a few quick moments. But do me a favor. You know what I'm going to ask you to do? If you are watching this show on YouTube or if you're listening across the multiple streaming platforms, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also the notification button. So as soon as I upload a new Sanya On-Air celebrity interview, you get alerted. You don't have to wait for me to text some people and say, listen, I got a new show up. You can just, beat some of that time and hit the notification button and the subscribe button, and you'll be caught up with Sanya On-Air. You can also visit my website, www.sanyaonair.net. And guess what? I'm looking for advertisers. Who doesn't want to advertise on Sanya On-Air, a syndicated show? I have such amazing advertisement packages. Guess what I got? Come closer. Come closer. Come closer. I have digital billboards all across the United States in 41 cities. Get your brand in lights, get your brand in front of the entire world, and make sure that you advertise with Sanya On-Air. If you are interested, be sure to email me. You can email Sanya at sanyaonair.net. Now let's get to the show. So welcome, Ashley Forrestier. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm nice. It's supposed to rain here in New York City, so I keep looking out the window because I have to head out later. I just hate the rain. You're in Texas, right?
I'm actually in Atlanta.
Yeah. Oh.
Atlanta, yeah. And it's kind of, the sun's coming out now, so that's good.
How's it in Atlanta? Because I heard they've been wide open for like the past year and a half.
Forever. Since I got out here a year ago, it's been wide open. And I'm like, that was May, and it started in March. So I'm like, yeah, no, they've been wide open ever since.
Oh my God. So how are you doing during the pandemic?
I'm doing really, really well. Last year, I think it wasn't as bad because I was on the show and stuff like that. So they had stuff for us to do. And so that was cool. But being quarantined, it wasn't really bad for me, like at all.
I know. I loved it.
I worked out all the time, so it was fine.
I know. I'm a loner, so just having more alone time, I lived for every single moment. And now that the world is opening back up, I'm kind of upset about it. I just want everybody to go back home and put back on their pajamas.
Right.
But this is a perfect segue because you mentioned the hit OWN series that you were on, Put a Ring on It. Now, I was a loyal viewer, tuned in every single week. But for those who weren't tuned in, tell them, what was OWN's Put a Ring on It about?
The OWN's Put a Ring on It is a show that Will Packer produced, and it took couples that were in long-term committed relationships that had never gone to the next level of getting married. And we were to get counseling, and also there was a little twist. The twist was we got to date other people. So in all of that with the counseling and getting to date other people, we got to see if our relationship was worth it and if we wanted to stay together and put a ring on it.
I was holding my breath throughout every single episode because that's difficult. It's like dangling a carrot, in front of a starving prisoner,
Yes.
Yes. Don't eat it, but just look at it. That would have driven me crazy, and I probably would have looked at my partner like, I don't know all about this. But we're going to unpack that in just a few short moments. But before, I realized that you weren't just a cast member on the show. I had no idea that you're also an actress.
Yes, definitely.
So, it kind of explains just a little bit, did you appear on the show because of your acting career, or were you really invested in strengthening your relationship with Hollywood?
For me, it wasn't about the acting. My story, I had been with Hollywood for 9 years, and I was stuck. I felt like I was stuck. Being on the show, I realized that I wasn't stuck. I just wasn't moving. And
Mhm.
going on that show, my motivation was not for acting at all. That is what I want to do on my time. But I moved to Atlanta before the show even came about because I wanted to pursue acting. But the show came about, and also with moving, I was praying. I was like, God, I've been in this relationship so long, I don't know what to do. And so when it came about, I was like, okay, this is perfect. We're about to hit this thing. We're about to go. We're about to make this thing work for what we needed to work for. And I took that opportunity to work on my relationship. So definitely acting was not a motivation at all when it came to that show. My relationship was very important. It's still important to, because it molded a part of me. So all that to say, no, it was definitely about this relationship because I needed to get it together. Okay.
Don't we all, honey? I got to make a few phone calls after the show ends. But so, who learned about the show? Was it you or your boyfriend?
It was me. A couple of my friends sent it to me. They sent because I guess they did a casting for it, and they just forwarded it to me. It was like, "Hey, girl, y'all been in a relationship so long. Why don't you check this out?" And so I brought it to him, and I was like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" He was like, "Well, let's do it." So
Really?
he agreed. So I'm like, "All right, let's go."
Wow. I'm still kind of treading water. For the past, I would say maybe 3 years, I've been asked to be on reality television. And one of them, the opportunities, was a dating show. And I'm still talking about it with my daughter. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I really needed to pick your brain on this.
Yeah.
What are the pros of being on that show? Put a ring on it.
The pros of being on that show was I would definitely say the counseling. A lot of the gems that the love doctor, Dr. Nicole, gave us on the show is stuff that I still apply to this day. And even in meeting people, even in my relationships with my family members, my friends, I apply a lot of the stuff that she gave. And I learned a lot. I learned that in relationships, it's okay for you to renegotiate your terms. Just because I was okay with this 5 years ago doesn't mean I'm okay with it now. And let's come to the table and renegotiate. That's one of my main things that I took from her, is that renegotiating, and that I really pay attention to how sometimes in relationships, especially how we're taught sometimes, is like, the man is the head of the house. Well, the man also sets the temperature in the room. If you go high, I'm gonna go high. You go low, I'm gonna go low. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, the counseling was the most important. And I didn't see it at the time, like going through it. But after a while, I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. No, like, so definitely I take that counseling away. Counseling is a great thing. And it's a good tool that I think a lot of people need to use.
It's so true. I do, individual therapy, not really in a relationship, kind of exploring the possibility. But I like what you mentioned, renegotiate your terms. If you've been in a relationship for an extended amount of time, how you were on day one or month one may not be who you are at year 5 and year 10. So be unafraid to go in and renegotiate your terms. So what terms did you renegotiate in your relationship with Hollywood?
Well, one of my terms while we were on the show, I didn't even realize it was something that I needed to renegotiate until, like I said, the doctor would see it from her view, and she brought it up. Like, she was like, something that he would do a lot on the show would, like, when we would get into it, or he didn't agree with my method of dating, he would just get upset and say, well, you know what? I'm done. If you like him, go be with him. Or I can't do this no more. Let's call it quits. Like, he was really willing to just throw things away. And after a while, I had to think about it. I was like, okay, no, that is something that I need to renegotiate. That is not cool for me. That is not okay. I know you don't mean it. So if you do not mean it, don't say it. Because if you say it again, I'm going to give you your wish. And so that was something that I definitely had to renegotiate, was how I allowed him to talk to me.
Got it. That was something that I recently had to do. Like I told you, exploring the potential of a relationship, I had to ask, how do you handle conflict?
Yes.
Because as a woman, I know that sometimes we are the best communicators. And I want to know that when I lay my burden or my emotions at your feet, how will you respond? Will you turn away, or will you open up your arms and not try to fix it, but just be there for me? So I thought that was a very important question. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because we look at our friends and family members and we ask for relationship advice or relationship goals. But when Put a Ring came on, and girl, I was looking at your show. Like, let me see what they're going to do.
And you know what? That was something that I was like, in going there too, I knew I was going to have to give up a lot of my privacy and a lot of, sometimes it can be a lot of shame that comes with, oh, I've been waiting for 9 years and I'm still not married. Mm-hmm. He did propose before the show, but I'm saying like, it just didn't go anywhere. So my whole goal was, if I'm going to go on this show, then I want to make sure that the ladies, the guys, someone else can benefit from what I had to go through. And so that was my whole thing, is that if I could touch any one woman, a man, anybody, to wake them up in their relationship, to not take their partners for granted, or to watch how you speak to them, just to be loving, to be a stable and make the relationship feel safe. If that was something that I could impart into anybody, I was happy. I felt like I served my purpose.
You did. But I know everyone wants to stand in their truth and be their true, authentic selves. I get that, especially for television, because the world is watching, the world is judging, the world is unpacking. But was there anything that you held sacred and said, I can't give the world this because it means too much to me?
There was nothing in that. I'm trying to think. There was nothing that I didn't share. I was definitely trying to be my most authentic self. I can't put a finger on it, because I think I was able to express myself in a manner where, I know certain things shape you, and so I was just trying to be me. So I can't really say that I withheld anything.
But what I loved, Ashley, just, you're a woman of color, and you weren't the typical, every time Hollywood wanted to show his behind, you weren't, popping off and, with the nail. That was refreshing, because I was just like, Lord, please don't let these Black women just be.
Right.
So I appreciated that.
And you know what? That is so true. But you know what? That's not me anyway. And on top of that, I'm not a jealous-hearted person, and that's the thing. So my thing is, so even if you're doing certain things, I'm just like, okay, listen, we're home. So if you clown, and then the thing is too, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Sanya. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I was the only, I think, female on the show that it was in reverse. I wasn't the one telling the guy, like, you need to put a ring on it or what. He was the one that's kind of like, I'm ready. What are you doing? So I think I was kind of a little removed from it. So you weren't about to get all of that from me. That's not who I am. I was very conscious about that. You know what I'm saying? My mama didn't raise nobody that's going to be doing all of that. And then I got to hear her mouth. I was not about to have it. Lord.
Yes. Out of all the cats, I'm telling you, you are the one that I wanted to speak to, because like you said, your narrative was so different, because I got the men chasing me too. But can I ask, like, how old are you?
I'm 21. No.
I asked because, I have a daughter who is 26 years old, right? And I'm always telling her, like, your 20s is just about exploration. Yeah. Not saying that you gotta, drop it low and spread it wide for everybody. No, but just explore and see what relationships are about, what you like and what you don't like. And then maybe in your 30s, you can explore marriage. But I was looking at your relationship when you said that you and Hollywood were together for 9 years. I'm like, well, she must have gotten with him when she was really, really young. Would you encourage, young girls to get married in their 20s?
I wouldn't. Actually, I am 39 years old. I will be, yes, exactly. So the thing is, we got together. I was 29 and turning 30 when I met him. And I definitely would not recommend it. I mean, I know a lot of people, unless you like busting it wide open and you get pregnant or something, you want to have that family. I still don't even think you should get married just because you have a child. But, if it's something like that, occasion, I think it could work. But I definitely think you need to explore and see what's out here as far as relationships, because you really don't know. Like, you don't know. Like, even I think on the show, I think what made my last guy that I dated, what made him so beneficial for me was that, in dating Hollywood, in the time that I dated him, it was something that I needed. When he came, it was something that I needed that my last relationship didn't have, or something like that. And he provided that. And he provided other things too, but it was just like, oh, but in that 9 years, I kind of just was floating. So the last guy that I dated, he really woke me up. Like I tell everybody, I was like, God used him. If it was for nothing else, it was just to move my focus. And it woke me up. So when I went back to Hollywood, it was just those things that I really, really need in a husband. I didn't recognize that at 29. I didn't recognize that at 30. But as a 39-year-old woman, I recognize that, no, this is something that I need for my husband to have. And so I definitely wouldn't recommend people just stop at 20, because yeah, you do change. You don't know. Sometimes you don't know even what you're looking for at that age.
So true. So if you could use an adjective to describe who you were at 29 and then who you are now, so that's two different adjectives, what would those two adjectives be?
Oh, two adjectives. Let's see. Because honestly, I'm trying to see how different that I am now. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm always, I don't know, I'm just always a bubbly, creative, optimistic woman. And like, I've always been that. I'm trying to see something that's different though. You know what? Back then, I think I was a little more cautious. Like, I was a little more cautious in like not taking risks. And now at this time, I'm more of a, like, I'm not waiting. Like, if it's something I want to do, I'm doing it. Like, I'm going to try it. And if it don't work, oh, well, I'm going to look, it's not the end, So, I don't know.
I know for me, then aggressive.
Got it. Okay.
Aggressive. Now there's a term I like. I'm very soft and pink. I just want to, just be a little delicate flower.
Yeah.
Maybe a little pollination every now and then.
That's so true. Because I think, for the longest time, you're young, you're rah-rah. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're so peppery, and I'm still a little pepper. But now, like, I like more, at one point in time, I felt like I had to be the one to do it. Like, if it's not getting done, I'm going to do it. Because I know I am an alpha female. But now I like to be able to find a man that can lead. And I don't have to be the man. I can be soft and pink. I can see that.
Yes. But let's just talk about the dating process. When on the show, you were encouraged and given permission to date other individuals.
Legal cheating.
No. Yes, legal cheating. That would have just sent me spiraling, if you had to go into this being very, very secure.
Yes.
So when Hollywood was dating other women, how did that make you feel on the show?
Honestly, that's what I was saying. I was not jealous at all. I wanted him to have a good time, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. In the time when we were dating, and I was like, what are we doing? Are we getting married? To be clear, it was after 5 years of dating. So I'm just like, what are we doing? And he was going through the back and forth. He actually said it. I want to date other people. Like, he said that to me. I should have walked away there, but I was just like, oh. But I did it. So when he said it, I was like, look at God. He gave you your wish, but he also gave it to me too. But like I said, because I was the one that I was a little bit more removed from wanting to get married, I feel like it was easier for me. I wanted him to have a good time. I wanted him to find somebody that he kind of was attracted to and he liked. Because I wanted to know that if you found somebody like that you would still choose me through it all. Because I don't want it to be you choose me by default, because you can't find nobody that's comparable to me or better than me. So honestly, I wanted him to experience this process at its fullest. Like, that was just my perspective on it. Some people might feel insecure about it, but I'm not insecure, because if you want her, go and get her. Like,
right. It's so similar, the phase that I'm going through now, except I'm not on the show and I'm not getting paid for it, going through the same thing. thing. It is so crazy. So, you know, the other couples on the show, have you maintained your friendship with the couples?
Definitely, all of them. We all talk, we all hang out. And we're just like a big family. It's crazy though, like, you know, of course you have your ones that you're closest to. Like I'm closest with Tamika and Vince. Like I go out with them all the time. And Mimi as well. Like we click with Mimi, the one that was originally on there that left because of her father.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk all the time. We have a group text, group chat. We talk all the time. And
Nice.
I love it. Like I love it. I have truly felt like I gained some sisters and brothers.
Nice. So speaking of gains, I'm sure there were some losses. Are you and Hollywood still together?
No, we are not.
As much. You know, people looking at the television, people were rooting for you and hoping that you kind of walked away from that relationship. So what happened after the show where you just said, I can't do this anymore? What happened?
For me, it was the wake up. Like I said, going on those dates, even though at first I was like, I would not advocate for anybody to do this. But honestly, if you're on the fence and you don't know what you're looking for, that was like my instance. I didn't know what I needed to see to move forward, but I knew I just hadn't seen it before the show. So when I got on the show and I started dating and I saw the things that I wanted in my husband that I knew were non-negotiables that I didn't even realize I needed, I couldn't just sit in what I was just given. I couldn't just eat what I was being fed. I need you to learn how to cook something else. And if you don't want to learn how to cook something else to feed me something different, then I'm going to have to go to a new restaurant, And so that was my thing. It's like, I just felt like he was complacent. I felt like, he was okay. And he was just like, well, take me as I am. I'm ready now. But I need certain things to be a little more stable for me to feel comfortable. And if I think maybe he would have worked on some of those things, I think it could have been a different outcome. But I think he really wasn't, I'm not sure where his mindset was, but it just, I couldn't go back to sleep. I couldn't just continue to eat what I was being fed.
Yeah, that's a word. I was about to run over there and grab my Bible, girl. Right. You preaching a sermon up in here.
Hello. Look, pass the tithe bucket around in a second.
Yes. So did you two remain friends?
We are friendly. I think it was, yes, I think it was a little difficult at first, because it's so many emotions. And even to his defense, I always have to say it, like seeing the woman that you love of 9 years actually be interested in another person, that had to be difficult for him to watch, for him to endure, for him to even hear. Like, y'all would see us go into these sessions and we would talk openly in front of everybody about our dates and what we liked and what we didn't like. And I knew that was difficult for him, but I was so used to, as women, sometimes we put our men before us, their feelings before ours. And it'll be at a detriment to us, And so I felt like I wanted to do this process full on. I got the right to legally cheat. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be open and you're going to know exactly how I feel because I want you to fix it. I'm not doing this to embarrass you. I want you to fix it. But I think it kind of hurt him. I'm not going to say kind of. It definitely hurt him. And I think it brought out jealousies and insecurities in him that I had never seen in him before. And I don't even think he knew how to handle it. And instead of reaching out for help, he tried, I'm going to handle it on my own. I'm going to be macho. But really, that's not going to help. But yeah, definitely, I think that it kind of put a damper on it.
Yeah, that's difficult for a man. And we did see Hollywood struggle through his emotions because you could tell that he was in a situation and a predicament that he had never been in before. And how do you handle that? So, but, just talking about being friends or friendly with your exes, let's talk about your exes. Are you friends with your exes? Because that's a huge question that women have. Do I remain friends with my exes? So are you?
I am. I mean, it's kind of difficult because all my exes want to come back home. No, let me stop. I'm saying they know a good thing, but I mean, it's a boundary. If when I was with Hollywood, my exes, I wouldn't communicate with them. But if I saw them, I'm like, hey, like I don't want to create an atmosphere where it's animosity or like you feel like you got to talk about me. I got to talk about you. No, I don't want that. It just didn't work. My exes were good men. Like, you know what I'm saying? They just weren't good for me at the time. Exactly. And probably me as well. So the thing is, I'm cool with them, but like I said, like, now a couple of them might hit me up like, hey girl, what's going on?
Right. They want the puffy remix.
Exactly.
But, just talking about exes and friends, I want to just discuss a hot topic real quick. It's on everybody's tongues. Porsha Williams, who is now engaged to her friend, and her friend that she brought onto the cast of Real Housewives of Atlanta. How do you feel about Porsha being engaged after a month to her friend's ex-husband?
Listen, I'm not even the type of person that I don't judge people. I don't. To each his own. But if that was my husband or my ex and my friend did that, oh no, it would be a problem. Like, seriously, I think she really has to understand that side as well. I understand love. I understand sometimes you can't help who you fall in love with, but I'm like, oh, these men in this city, you go for my ex-husband? Like, you know what I'm saying? But for her, I think it was important for her to say, well, we're not friends. And I'm like, well, you brought her on the show. So
I know.
But honestly, I just think that is...
It's tacky. It's tacky. And, I'm looking at the comments on social media, and her friends, her circle are applauding and congratulating her. And I'm just like, I don't think those are the type of friends that you should have around you, because I want a friend who can tell me, you stepping in doo-doo right now and you're stinking and you need to clean it up. So I'm glad that the public is giving her that opinion.
But would you want your friend to publicly put that on your page?
No.
Right. So they could be doing that to act like they support, and you don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. Because my thing is, I'm the type of friend, I'm not going to be that yes person.
True.
But I wouldn't probably post, yay, girl, yay, love wins.
I wouldn't say anything.
I wouldn't say anything, but
right.
I'd hit up personally and be like, girl, what is she saying? But yeah, I mean, honestly, the whole thing just felt weird when I saw it. And then I saw the picture of Dennis, like her and the guy. I'm just like, why, Jesus? Like,
weird. It was like a whole media tour yesterday of her professing her love to her friend's ex-husband. It was weird.
I think she did it though. I really think she did it to jump in front of the story.
Mm.
Anything, the other girl was probably going to come out and say, oh, you a homewrecker. But if I could come out first and say, I found love and whatever, and let me clear this up, I wasn't really her friend. In her head, she's probably like, it's not going to be as bad as if Fallon would have came out and released the story.
Mm. I get it. For me, I'm just like, relationships are very personal and very sacred. So that's why I said, you just being very open and honest and transparent on the show, put a ring on it. Like, I'm just going to pick your brain. So who do you go to for relationship advice?
Honestly, I have a best friend that I talk to all the time, and she's been there since college. And I talk to her all the time. She's giving me great advice. And it's stuff like, and the reason why I think I trust her as well is because she'll tell me when I'm wrong. She'll be like, girl, no, you tripping. Like, you are wrong. Like, something's wrong. So it's not even like she's biased to me just because I'm her friend. Like, she'll call me out and be like, girl, no, you wrong. Just apologize to that boy because you blew up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I really trust her, and I trust her opinion. And I have some, sisters that I talk to. Some will be like, girl, listen, you get him, and him. But then I have some that's like, will give me some really, really great advice. So, yeah.
Cool. So I think you said you're in a relationship right now. Did you say that?
I did not.
But you're dating?
Maybe. No. I mean, maybe. No.
So you still want to get married in the future?
Of course. See, that's the thing about me. I am a lover of love. When I tell you I love love, and I feel like it doesn't taint me. I know that it does affect me and it molds who I am. So in the next one, I'm not going to make you pay for what he does. But if I see similar traits, I'm going to be like, wait, hold on. I'm not going to ignore it like I did before. Like, we're going to address it right now. And if you're not, bye. Like, my tolerance is really short, though. I can say that. Like, if I see BS, I'm like, okay.
Because you have the tools now. You have the tools and you know better, so you vow to do better. So, you know, I definitely applaud you for that. Would you do reality television again?
Okay, see, this is the problem because I like it, but because I am an actress, I don't want to be pigeonholed into just that realm. I don't want to be known as a reality TV person. Like for me, I wouldn't mind do hostings or like certain things where I could talk to people because I definitely feel like I'm a people person. I feel like I love to empower women. That is another thing that I learned on here. After doing this show, a lot of women come to me for advice. They come with, hey, you helped me through my situation. I'm going through something similar. And it really made me feel like that is a part of my purpose, to uplift women and to uplift men too, because a lot of times they don't get it as well. But a lot of women, we, like I said, we'll put other people's things in their back and their opinions and their feelings before our own. And so I think I know that I like empowering women and giving them a voice and saying, hey, we can be sexy, we can be fine, we can be intelligent, we can be business women, we can be about our money and about our love. Like, I just love that. So my thing is, I don't, if the right opportunity came, then I probably would. I wouldn't have an issue with it. But I would much rather be on TV for like a series or a movie.
Got it. So originally from New Orleans, then you went to Houston, Texas.
Yes.
Now you're in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
Were you making all of these moves because, you know, entertainment for actresses, you know, people often move. Why the move?
Actually, my last move was the only move that I did it for entertainment. Coming from New Orleans, I moved to Houston because of Hurricane Katrina. And I was forced to move. I had no choice. And I love Houston. Houston is bomb. You know, they have a lot of culture, especially with us, you know, African American, successful culture. And I love it. The money was good, so I didn't want to move back home. I love the food and the culture of New Orleans. That is always my home. But Houston, you know, I was there for 15 years and I loved it. Loved it. And I got even into theater there. I had an agent there, would go for commercial stuff like that. But I wanted to get more into TV and film. And so that's what prompted my move to Atlanta. Actually, my move to Atlanta was to get into entertainment, but it was also to kind of separate myself from my relationship so I could see what I needed to do. And then the show popped up once I was here. So I'm like, dang, like, look at God. Like,
yes. You know, success is preparation meeting opportunity. Absolutely. And, you know, I'm glad that you allowed yourself to get out of your way and say yes to saying, okay, let me relocate here. Let me take advantage of this opportunity. So, you know, I'm loving the strength that you are speaking about and that you are also living, you know, that should definitely be applauded. But you talked about acting. I didn't know that you were a singer as well. You have an amazing voice. So what about singing opportunities? Will we hear more of your wonderful singing voice?
You know, it's so funny because before acting, well, you know, I've always done acting as a child, but singing was like my love that was at the forefront. But now, as I've been going for maybe the last 5 years, acting has been my love. But I recognize that God blessed me with multiple gifts. So I'm pretty sure that whatever my destiny is, I'll be using all of my gifts. I definitely have no doubt with that, and I have no problems with it because I love to sing and I love to act. Right now, acting though is my focus. So maybe I'll get a role where I have to sing and act, you know.
We're gonna put it out there in the universe, and it's gonna happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
I know He didn't give it to me for no reason, so I'm like,
exactly.
If I'm gonna use everything. Like, I tell people this all the time, and I know people hate when I say it, but I say, you know, when I die, when I leave this earth, I want to get to heaven and God be like, you exhausted everything I gave you. I don't want to have a drop of it left. You hear me? Like, I want it to be so out there that everyone could feel every piece of me. And I know some people, you know, music is very important to me. I love music. I sing all day, listen to music all day. But like I said, I want to be able to touch people with everything that's in me. And so I just hope that I'm able and I'm afforded the opportunities to do that.
Got it. So are you still currently auditioning for acting roles?
Definitely. All day, every day. Like, you know, yesterday I just did one. And I recently just filmed a movie in Charlotte. That one is going to be coming out. I don't know when, but it's called Urge. That one is really, really good. I was the leading lady for that one, so that was amazing. But yeah, I audition all day, all night, all the time. So I'm praying. I have some great auditions that I've been doing, and I'm just believing God will open the door for these amazing opportunities. And, you know, I just want his will to be done in my life. I have some great things coming up that I can't necessarily talk about. It's not finalized yet, but definitely auditions all day.
Oh, we'll be watching. We'll
Okay.
definitely be watching. You know, I just want to wrap up this conversation with advice. For the first bit of advice is for aspiring actors. What advice do you have for them as they hope to break into the industry?
I would definitely say get into some acting classes. While you're waiting to get put on, you need to be honing your gift and your craft. And I would also say get into a network of other actors because it helps. You can create your own content, which is something you're doing before you get to the Will Packers or the Tyler Perrys or the Ava DuVernays. Like you would want to continue that gift going. So when you're ready, and when the time comes, like you said, success is, you know, it's just that. I want it to be, you need to be ready. Preparation meets opportunity. You need to be ready. And so I would definitely say that. And don't give up. It's so easy. And I'm going to tell you why. It's so easy. For acting, it's easy to give up because you have millions of auditions and no callbacks, no bookings, no anything. And it makes you start to question yourself. It makes you start to be like, dang, am I really as good as I think I am? Or as my people tell me I am. And you have to realize that everything happens in a split second. It could happen. You know, it's out of your hands. With acting, so much stuff is out of your hands. You could be the best actor in the world. But if you're not, I'm 5'1" 3/8", okay? So, but if they looking for a girl that's 5'7" with blonde hair, you're just not going to get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm African American. I'm Black. But a lot of times when they're booking for roles for people that are Black, they don't look like me. You know, because I can look Hispanic, I can look very ethnically ambiguous. So in acting, I would definitely tell people, don't quit. If it's something you want to do, go after it. Go after your dream, and eventually, if it's on your heart, it's gonna come out.
I like that. And I like the part where you said, you know, just because you get turned down for a role, it doesn't mean that something was wrong with you. It may just mean that that's not what they were looking for. It doesn't speak any ill of your talent. So the second piece of advice that I want you to give my listeners and viewers, what type of advice would you give those who are exploring a relationship?
When you're exploring a relationship, let's see what I advise. I would definitely say keep your eyes and ears open. A lot of times in relationships, I'm not going to say always. That was something that I learned too. I would always say always. I always do this. No, a lot of times in relationships, I think as people, we ignore signs. We ignore them. And people can say things out their mouths. They can do whatever. I would say just keep your eyes and ears open. I would not say be critical and just like nitpicking. I would say live in the moment, be in the moment, but also be aware so that you're not wasting a lot of your time. You know, it's no need to waste 9 years if you know things. If a guy at 5 years said he liked the way it is, he don't want to get married. Pay attention. Like, don't think, oh, I can change him. You have to really pay attention and take people for whatever they say is the word.
Got it. Amazing advice. And I know people want to stay in touch with you. Give us your social media handles.
Definitely. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I am Creole One Queen. That is CREOLE, the number one queen. And then Facebook is my name, Ashley Forrestier. And you can find me, add me, chat. I'm very interactive with the people that follow me. Very interactive, and I love it. They're like, my people are very supportive. So definitely follow me. And I look forward to my new followers.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to connect with you on social media right after we end this conversation, Queen. But let me tell you, I was very distracted. You know, I always say, you know, I have like undiagnosed ADHD. I'm like, oh, she's special because we both got a bun. Did you notice that?
I noticed it at first. I was going to say something. I was like, let me stop. But no, girl, we right on.
You on point, girl. Black girl magic. Well, Ashley, thank you so much. Continued success. You've definitely dropped some gems, not only for me, but for my entire audience. Continue to stay blessed and successful because your preparation is definitely meeting your opportunities.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Take care, Ashley.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So there you have it. An amazing conversation with Ashley Forrester from OWN's hit series, put a ring on it. Will Packer, I'm telling you, if you haven't been following him on social media, he is really giving a lot of relationship, dating advice. Relationships is very hard to kind of navigate, especially in this space where everybody just looks perfect on social media. And you're like, I got goals. Well, you're like, I got goals to be like them. So I'm glad that Ashley was very transparent and authentic in her very uncomfortable conversation, because who wants to talk about their relationship that didn't work out? Who wants to talk about a relationship that you put so much time into and then both parties just walk away? So I'm glad that Ashley was able to unpack that. I hope that you learned a lot, not only about relationships, but also if you want to enter into the industry as an actor. I didn't even know that she was an actress until I started researching and preparing for this show. So what you see on television is not the totality of an individual. So stop looking at these television shows thinking that that is the sum total of what these individuals are made of. Not true at all. She's amazing, amazing. So do me a favor, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you listen, like, comment, and share to all Sanya On-Air streaming platforms: iHeartRadio, Pandora, iTunes, Spotify, Alexa, YouTube, you name it, streaming. Sanya On-Air is there. And do me another favor, if you're interested in advertising on Sanya On-Air, be sure to email Sanya@sanyaonair.net. This has been another amazing edition of Sanya On-Air. Thank you so much for tuning in. Smooches, dolls.